Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. I just want to say you gave me life when I first saw you and I came in the Tire Styles brunch with your outfit. I was the one that took the picture. I was like, I don't know you, but you giving me life with this outfit, honey. Please let me get another pose. Let me
Oh,
get another one.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you so much.
And then hearing your story on the panel, I felt it. And it's like, kind of, I feel how all of us models are.
Hmm.
Even though, even though the designer has a certain look, but we're giving you our own look and we're establishing our own thing. And I feel like that's our own empowerment to be like, nope, you talked about me here, you talked about me there. I don't give a care because I'm on stage. Where are you?
Okay, and that's what it's about, you know.
Yeah, so I appreciate people like you. Actually, the whole panel. I knew half of y'all, but now I know all of y'all.
Mhm.
But it's really good, especially in the season that I'm in, to know just stay focused. The hate is gonna hate, the
Mm,
toxic gonna be there, but just stay focused on your star player.
yeah, and that's it. You want to
And
kind of talk about the season that you're in?
sure, hold on. I'm gonna go into the room. Do you want to get on the? Did you want to see my face, or are we just okay
It's
with
up to
talking?
you. It's up to you. Whatever you're comfortable.
Okay, hold on. I'll go to some lights.
Okay.
Well, I feel that when you see people, it draws the memory. You can get back, see
Hmm.
each other's things. So,
For sure.
um, right now, the season I'm in primarily is continuation of a rebirth.
Mm,
So basically, what I call my rebirth, um, before I want to say what 2019. Not only did COVID happen, I was getting different views from friends as I was transitioning into being me,
mm,
not being a social chameleon, not doing what you want, you know, and just trying not to overload people. Found out, friends like to tell you, well, you're being a downer. But when you was grumpy walking around here, ain't nobody said, oh, okay. And
right.
when you was at home and nobody brought you out, but I brought you out. And let's just say here, as you're sitting here, you're talking to the people, you're becoming best friends with people that I brought you to.
Well, that part.
Okay. So we had an intervention. And like I told them, I said, I will give you this. I thank you for some of the comments, but your direction and how you did it could have been a lot better.
Mm.
Man, they had me crying at MGM. You don't have me crying at MGM. I don't like I'm a
Not at the
Pisces, but I don't like
casino.
girl, but I'm a Pisces, but I don't like showing all of that.
Yeah.
So, but I learned from it, and then I started my own, like, kinda spiritual healing because I was like, "All this darkness, what does this mean?"
Mm,
And it was really, "Amber, get out your way." So I signed up for this pageant. And that pageant was the catalyst. My platform was based on Live Your Core Out Loud, which it was something that I realized sometimes you have to change your core to get better. You have to exercise your core to get better.
yeah.
But a lot of times, what we do is harp on the past and it keeps us stuck. So my platform core is based on confidence, overcoming, resilience, and exercise.
Mm,
Because you got to have the confidence to walk your own path.
mhm.
And sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. Because a lot of people be like, well, Amber, you just get it so easily. If y'all only understood how much I faked it until it became mine,
Exactly.
you wouldn't even believe.
Yeah.
Then the overcoming and the resilience go hand in hand because you got to celebrate where you came from, how you bounce back from that,
Mhm.
but you also know that you ain't going back there no more, and you overcame that, so they can still think of you there.
Right.
I'm not there. And the resilience is anytime something gets me down, it might take me a little while to get back up, but I get back up and I get it done.
Mhm.
And I try to come harder. And then the exercise, I just told everybody, well, your core is mentally, physically, and spiritually. So if you don't exercise your mind, your body, and your spirit,
Mhm.
you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to continue to be in this funk
Right.
because I'm a caregiver for my mother, and
Mhm.
I understand how the exercising of the core body is. But I heard sermon from Sarah Jakes, and that built the platform. She was like, sometimes when it gets ugly, that's God telling you, you gotta shift. You gotta
Mm.
mess that core up a little bit. You need to get uncomfortable because you've been too
Right.
comfortable. And when she said that, I said, boom, there's the platform, there's where I'm going. And it really started me to move forward. And then seeing people like Garner Style and Rest in Heaven, Brandy Mallory, they're leaving her to rest today.
Oh.
She was the first plus size woman I saw come out with um Dwight Holt for the Dance Your Ass Off or Dance Your Pounds Off.
Mhm.
She was the light skinned heavyset girl that with the curly hair that he always showed,
Mm.
getting it in the gym, getting it. And it's crazy how alignment works. I didn't know her, but I know her best friend
Mm.
through a model group that I'm in. I
Mhm.
was with I did training and a lot of things under Danielle Baker
Mhm. Mhm.
from Model University, and she showed me a lot of poise, skill, and also I went to Jeannie Ferguson, who nicely told me, because Jeannie, if you get messed up, she'd be like, "I'll take a boot, I'll throw
Mhm.
my shoe, I'll throw." But I love her. I love
Right.
realness.
Mhm.
I don't have to question how she feels about me, right?
Oh, right.
And I love that about human beings. If I don't have to question and you can give me real and I don't have to think, thank you. You're making my life 1 point easier.
Yeah. Straight from the source.
Exactly. So I hope from here you kind of understand what you get is what you see. I'm promoting being your authentic self because for so many years I've tried to fit in where everybody wanted me to be, thinking that would bring me peace. It didn't bring me peace. It brought me confusion. It
Mm.
brought me who the hell am I? What am I doing? People be like, well, get a hobby. Hmm, what do
Right.
I do? I don't want to draw all the time. I'm not a gym person all the time. So okay, when you say get a hobby, but what I thought about, it's not about getting a hobby, it's getting about for me, it was getting into something that I've always wanted to do, which
Mhm.
growing up in the 80s, not so much plus models, right?
Mhm.
So I thank the Garners, I thank the Lyrics, I thank the Lizzos. You got to give Lizzo her homage too. I thank them all because little by little you showed that our curves are beautiful. We're not just, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm grateful for the plus size ones who are now getting into the health because a lot of people think, oh, they just want to eat like that. They just want to. No, you don't know people's circumstances that got them
Exactly.
there. You don't know, so you can't judge. But now it's showing that no, even though we're big, we still have to work out. And I be telling everybody, if you a model and you want to keep your knees, ankles, and everything else, you got to go work out your core.
Mhm.
You and plus even with your posture. Like right now,
Very
I'm
much.
doing back stretches because I didn't do enough stretches earlier.
Mhm.
So all in all, I want when people see me, I want them to see that you can do it too. You can go through all that you're going through. You
Mhm.
can be going through dirt. And that's where Amber Rising came, like the Phoenix Rising.
Mm.
My for I guess my change and getting more into me, even though I'm 40, I wish somebody had talked to me back in 30s, but hey, not not too late.
No, it's
Age
never
ain't nothing.
it's never too
Eh,
late.
I keep Vera Wang, Taraji, all of them in my head. They
And
didn't
the
start at
the
the
Maya
beginning.
Musks of the world, the people who, like she didn't people didn't really realize her, and she's in her 70s.
See?
Mhm,
And like that. And so it's really I'm not counted out, but if I don't do nothing, I am count out.
mhm,
So this is me rising. This is me getting my boundaries that I didn't have before. This is me going into something, and it's hard when the core people around you are like, "Oh, that's just a hobby." It's really not a hobby. I love being in front. Don't get me wrong. I can bust a nice little move, give you a pose. I love doing print because print just gives me life. Like, what? How you want this pose? I be working my poses.
mhm,
Um, but I also like being behind the scenes. Like I did District of Curves with Mickey Leon
okay,
this past year, and I was Jeannie's assistant. Because I know Jeannie, like I try to tell people, I like to work with people I can kind of get. So I can kind of like I used to tell my managers, I try to get your brain. So
mm,
that way if I have your brain, I know what you're needing and I can stay one step ahead or at least try to stay on the same line.
right,
So during this, I could tell she was getting frustrated. I could tell different things weren't this. So I started getting in processes and everything. And she said, after everything, she said, I can honestly say, I have never had an assistant so good and
oh
handle
wow,
so much. She said, you were perfect. Like, because I looked at it as, okay, I might not be on the show, but I'm networking with these models, I'm networking with these designers.
mhm,
Like Rick Lamar, he might not have seen me on stage, but he remembers my personality. He remembers how I was dealing with coordination and dealing with a lot of people coming at me on time. You know what I'm saying? He saw how I tried to keep the flow and making sure because I knew his pieces were so intricate and having to put them on people's bodies. I just was like, who's your model?
right,
So as soon as I saw his models, I was like, she gotta be up front. She
mhm,
gotta be up front. Anybody that would, because he was like scene 6. Anybody that was about scene 3, I was making all their models up front. I said, because if they gotta walk for him, they gotta get into the intricate stuff. And I don't know how, who, or what's getting into what. I was
mhm,
like, and I'm not trying to mess up his lineup because of that.
right,
So everything went very well, but I love that part because you get to see the empowerment with the designers and you get to
mm,
see the empowerment with the models. And then it is a model sisterhood. Not everybody's trying to hit you in the back.
mhm,
I met some real good, genuine sisters that we've gone through the same stuff and we still trying to get out here together. I also try to highlight in the community you're a model already. Y'all keep thinking models are doing this, models are doing that. Let's just say this models have the most low self esteem. We came into modeling, so we can overpower that self esteem. What's the best way to face your fear? Put yourself out there.
mhm,
You gotta understand. And if you put together your outfit that day, whether it's putting on leggings, another top, whether it's slashing up your leggings, you are a model. That's your look. That's what you stand for. Even the people that want to wear the oversized t-shirts and not really have anything, that's your look. Your look is very casual, like I'm not going nowhere. So
mhm,
that's what you modeling. If anybody looking at you like, ooh, those jeans look comfortable, they trying to find them little. You are a model. Everybody in this world, if you putting on clothes, you a model.
mhm,
You just might not be posing it and striking it like we do.
mm. Right, but you're always selling.
Exactly. And I try to tell people that, and I also believe in supporting my friends. Like half of my photo shoots, they're friends. My
Mhm,
nails, friends. Because I feel that's the only way. I want to show people you can get ahead by being right with people and supporting your friends.
I
Like I have my friends with businesses, I was like, I'm your ambassador. I'm your ambassador. I'm your ambassador. Go ahead and get me a set of nails, especially Amber P curves. Okay.
mhm,
Yep. Why not?
Exactly.
That's how you help each other. That's how you build.
Mhm.
And I'm about building and real true team empowerment. But I have my negotiables and I have a good way of reading some people.
Mhm.
I don't let the fake energy come near me. It don't do well. It disrupts my spirit. That person disrupts me. It's just like, okay, I know which way we can be cordial,
Mhm.
but I know which way we gonna go.
Right.
This is here. This
This
is an assignment.
right. So how do
So,
you how would you say you discern that?
oh Lord, I ask for God's help every single day. Because discernment, especially with people who's been in my life, people that are now more so I can discern easier with people entering my life
Mhm.
because they don't know me, but it's more so also discerning those that have been in my life on which way to move forward.
Right.
So I pray for it. I really just look at people's mannerisms sometimes,
Mhm.
and it's like I don't know how. It's just different friends of mine. When I walk into a room and meet their friends,
Mhm.
usually I'm coming off with a report. You sure that's your friend? You sure? And they be like, well, how didn't you? There, I remember one girl instantly. I went to a friend's birthday. I hugged everybody, but someone just was like, because the way she looked at me was like, and what church do you go to? I said, oh, who who are you?
Right, right.
Like, this is basically fam over here. You were just through the church, so who the hell are you? And from there, it just was her mannerism was very, I'm this, and very over the top. And I'm like, why you being so over the top with people you really don't need to be over the top with?
Right. We all family in here.
Well, let's just say 2 years later, my friend was telling me how she was going around putting her business out there in the church and acting like my friend was a scrub. I said, are you serious? You want me to read her?
Because I've been
And
waiting.
she Right. She was like, "Amber, you always said that." I said, "It's a demeanor." I was like, "She was only up against you to get your clout. And now that she got your clout, she feels like she could overpower you."
Mm,
Where would they do that at?
mhm.
I was like, "Yeah, I told you to watch that one." And she was like, "You really did." I said, "Okay, I know, but I'm glad you went more into your marriage. You went more into you and your husband building friendships and relationships outside of that church because you started to see."
Right.
I started to see the writing on the wall a long time ago
Mhm.
when the pastor bought his own boat. I said, "So is he John the Baptist preaching on the water?"
Mm,
No, he gonna be outside on Potomac grabbing fish, not preaching. So why did this church just buy you a boat as a gift? I don't.
mm,
So, but truly, from those experiences, I had to start discerning about who was around me, about who I would allow to have this energy, as well as discerning myself as to why do I let them in?
mm. So let
And
me
why
ask
do I
you
keep this energy? Hmm?
I said, so let me ask you this. When
Hmm.
do you feel that
Hmm.
you are your most powerful?
I am my most powerful qualities.
No, when do you feel that you are at your most powerful state? Like, when do you feel like you can do anything? What takes you to that place? Is it when you're listening to certain music? Is when you have on a certain article of clothing? It's when you're in a certain space with certain people? Like, when do you feel that power?
So it's kind of a couple of different instances in what you were saying.
Okay.
Um, a lot of times, like first, I'm a music person and the music can get me. So I literally have a high five playlist, or excuse me, a bad bitch playlist
Mhm.
where it's all about calling my power, everything like that. My friends come, they be like, all your music be like, I'm that bitch. I said, because if you don't tell yourself you that bitch, then who else is? I was like, I am. Because I'm good in the corporate, I'm good in so I have a high vibe playlist. I also listen to daily motivations especially when I'm working out to help keep pushing forward, right? Because you know you can't stop. It's just that when you don't see the fruit, you get kind of, you know,
Urged.
hurt, yeah, discouraged and everything. So it has helped me with that as well as I do empowerment calls. I'm with Mish House, so that's an empowerment group. But I also am a life coach.
Mm,
So I'm certified in emotional intelligence and cognitive behavior therapy. I did that first to get out of my own way when we was going through these, interventions and stuff. I was like, okay, well, maybe let me see if I'm doing the right things for myself.
mhm,
But then as I started going through everything, I was just like, the world is hurt and boundaries are up because of triggers.
mm,
If we didn't have our trigger, because so much do will pass out on the next good person because of one trigger that they showed from a person in the past.
mhm,
So we have to own our triggers, but learn and discern how we want to go from there with those triggers.
mhm,
And then I just say I like to learn more about me, makes me tick. So when you say, how do you feel when I am in a modeling group or like behind stage, just doing my thing, interacting, getting to know people, being able to do the project management, I'm like, this is how you run that boss.
mm,
Proud of you. When I'm on the stage or in front of the camera, I'm my own person. That's when I feel like, come on, we're gonna show these people what we're giving out. We're gonna show these people how we feeling, you know. So that's when I feel on top of the world. And then at work, when people try to check me on stuff that I already know, and because they don't understand it, they want to act like I don't know what I'm talking about,
mm,
especially them boys clubs. But yet, after that, when they sit back and realize, oh, Amber pointed this out. Oh, she had a plan for this. Oh, I remember she put this in a brief. That's when I'm like, yeah, come for me again and I will send for you another time.
mm,
So those are when I feel empowered. It's just when people try to act like I don't know what I know,
mhm.
like don't insult my intelligence.
Right,
So I feel very empowered when what I said at the beginning was right comes back to
right,
also fulfill that
yes.
it's right.
So let's talk about when you feel your least powerful.
Least powerful is when matters of external things come up, like with the caregiving, or no offense, my father's a recovering alcoholic. So any given moment, um, of course, matters of the heart with my grand god kids. Well, my babies, they ain't even god kids. They've been in my life a long time. My
Mhm,
babies, they babies, those type of things is where I feel like I have to stop
mhm,
because of the role that I've turned, right? Relationships, you got to stop because of the role you decided to play in that. However, right now, I'm in the realm of learning how to be able to do the role, but not letting the role take over me
mhm,
and what I want to do for my future.
mhm,
So little by little, I do, I'll set things up. I don't care if I only got $5 to my goddamn name. I'm setting up. We getting it done. I'm grateful for the network I have where hey, can I pay half now, half later? Because it's something I know I'm doing for myself. So it makes those times that I don't feel as powerful a little bit better because I'm just like, nope, but I shut that down. I got up here. I'm doing this for myself. Okay. They're taken care of. Or just like, no, I'm not doing this. If you want to continue to do this, there's a cause and effect. If you blame me, blame me. I'm sorry, but there's a cause and effect. So
okay.
that's when I deal with it less.
So,
Yeah.
as you were saying, you recognizing the cause and effect, and recognizing when you are in those spaces, how to move into your position of power. So,
Mhm.
what if you had to explain kind of like your process, or if there was like some kind of um, procedure that you put into play to get yourself to the powerful space? What would you say
Mhm.
that would be? How would you explain
Oh, okay. First, it's Amber, get your shit.
that?
We have to have a real heart to heart. Then I go through because I'm one of those people that there's two sides to every story. Well, actually three. Your side, their side, the truth.
Truth.
So I try to go off of understanding all sides. So I play devil's advocate with myself, right?
Mhm.
Because not everything I see is what's being seen.
Right.
The perception of it all, even though I hate perception at times. Um, but dealing with the perception, and then I kind of go into this, okay, well, this isn't going to get you anywhere closer to where you need to go. So, what can you do for you or in this moment to make you feel better? And then go from there. So, I'll
Mhm.
go do that activity to figure that out, and just, or have a moment with my journals, motivation, something like that to get me back filled up. Because now I was depleted. I'm feeling myself little by little, right? Then after that, it's more so one of those, okay, this is what it is. I don't need to talk to this person for a little bit
Mhm.
because they took me there. If they try to go back there, I'm still triggered by it. We won't get nowhere. So
Right.
I kind of just let that thing cool off a little bit. I let the person know how I feel, but I let it cool off.
Mhm.
But then I take some of the things, like some of the things people say is right, and especially if they calling you out. We all don't like being called out like that.
Mhm.
So I take what they were saying, remove the animosity and defensiveness I just had, like how I did with that intervention, to
Mhm.
really see what are you saying to me?
Yeah.
Because right, I don't want to be looked at as a downer. I don't want to be looked at as a burden. I don't. That's not me. And if what I'm putting out there is that, I feel that's why sometimes I get it back. So I do better with changing the narrative.
Gotcha.
And I tell everybody, if you just really start to little by little change the narrative on what's going on and focus it back to you and not the other person, you're halfway there.
Mhm.
So after I go through that, then it's just like, okay, let's ride this the way we need to ride it. I mentally checked myself. I dealt with it. I processed it. Okay, I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect because we're human, but I at least know from here, this is how we going to roll. Okay, let's go.
Got it. All right. So the last question is, if you could, and this could be advice to yourself maybe 2 years ago, or advice to someone in the future who is going through those feelings of feeling arrested in how they show up in the world, what would you say to that person? How would you help them escape that space?
When you're feeling arrested and feeling like you can't escape, first thing is you have to have the mindset or the little inkling that you can. Because if you're already saying you can't, you already gave up. You're already giving your power up. But by saying, nope, there's something there. I just got to figure it out and start looking at those little things little by little. What am I trying to do? What can I help for me without anybody else's involvement? Because a lot of times we start taking in external things thinking that's what's going to help, but it's all about us
Hmm.
before it goes to the external.
Right.
Then from there, I would tell the person, be kind with yourself, give yourself grace, understand that you're doing a shift, a healing shift,
Right.
because it's more so You were trapped due to circumstances that you had now. But
Mhm.
now you're trying to figure out the better way to handle those circumstances so you're never there again. And that's your path,
Right.
not ancestry, not it, you know what I'm saying? That's yours. Because I used to blame my parents on certain things, but then I was like, I can't blame them because they only had what they had. So
Yes.
I had also, you have to forgive certain things,
Mhm.
like forgive certain things in the past, forgive certain things with people because you don't know what decisions they had or what options they had. And a
Right.
lot of times that's what it is. It's the option. Then from there, select your own personal options
Mhm.
of what you want to work on. Keep focused on that. And little by little, by working through that, you start to see life is not keeping you held. Your mental keeping kept you held.
Mhm.
Your your continued concentration on external instead of internal kept you held. And that's when sometimes people will say I'm being selfish, but you have to be selfish with that. If not, you're going to blame other people. You're not going to go do what you need to do for you. And you're just really going to keep yourself in prison. And that's what it really was. I can honestly say the pageant, Amber Rising, getting into modeling, um, finding the niches in modeling I like, finding the consulting and empowering in modeling and in this industry that I like for me as a creative, you know? I can bring my business that I do for my 9 to 5 into here and it's still work.
Mhm.
Like finding that, but that's for me.
Right.
It's a whole journey for self. But on that journey, you have to give yourself grace. You're not gonna always get it right. You're
Mhm.
gonna have fallbacks because, hey, we're human. But as long as you notice your fallback and do something better to bring yourself back up,
Mhm.
it will also keep with your progression out of the hole,
Mhm.
especially changing the narrative. I don't care what anybody says, if you have to change that narrative to make you get out of your own way, do that.
Mhm.
It's your narrative, not theirs. It's yours. I th- I can honestly say with this journey, it was really about learning how to own self, showing up for self.
Mhm.
If I say I want it, not just talking about it, but walking and talking it.
Being about it.
And a lot of times we want to be about it. We have all these great ideas, but life hits and then we let that go. But if you keep letting it go, you can't blame nobody for how your life turns out.
Mhm.
And that's what I truly had to understand and take in. It wasn't about my friends who weren't here or if they were here. It's not about my mate, it's not about my family. Because guess what? I was born by myself. And when it's time to leave this earth, I will be leaving by myself. I don't wanna take nobody with me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But I had to realize I can't blame nobody else for the trajectory of my life but myself. And owning that, changing the narrative, and doing whatever you need to do to fill your star player up is the only way you'll get out of your hole. And to realize it's your hole,
Right.
no one else's.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I greatly appreciate you. This has been very enlightening. And I don't know, did you see the rundown of like what I'm going to do with the information?
So I was kinda all around with it. I was like, I don't know if this is a show. I don't know if this
So
is
what's going to happen is I'm going to transcribe the words from the interviews, and I'm going to
mhm.
take every individual interview and turn it into its own piece.
Ooh.
So you will have a piece designed after what you and I talked about from this interview, and it's going to be a part of an exhibit that I'm going to be featured in Art Basel in Miami. next month. So it'll be a part
You
of
go,
yeah,
boy.
thank you. It'll be a part of a museum exhibition that everyone will get to see. Like once it's put together, we build it out. I'll be sending pictures of every piece to everybody. You get to see it, and then I think that the talk that we're gonna do on the 7th will be
Mhm.
live streamed. So I'll make sure that you
Okay.
guys get the information for that as well.
Yeah. Man, I went to Art Basel and I had such a great time
Yeah,
just being in the art culture and everything like that. So kudos to you for
thank
real.
you, thank you so much.
Kudos. And you gonna tear it up, especially with this. A lot of the pieces are even better when it has the meaning and the connection to it. Oh, I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this
Yeah,
opportunity.
I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you, and I hope to look for you more, and I hope to see my outfit so I can wear it.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. As soon as everything is done, like I said, I'll be sending out pictures. You guys are good to be a part of the full journey.
Awesome. And I'll be coming for my piece. I know Imma find a piece on there
I
I
got
wanna
you.
get, so I'll be coming for my piece.
All
Well,
right,
you
you have
have
a
an awesome
good
day.
day
Have a great, holiday season as well.
too.
Alright, have a good one. Bye-bye.